When and where were you born?
I was born in Joplin, Missouri in the year 1991. Month of March.
Do you know of any interesting stories regarding your birth?
Well, Mom and Dad like to joke that the reason I'm so short is because the winter, so I was born in March, and the winter time, like December, whatever, my mom was like 7-8 months pregnant. They had this, what we called the pooper scooper. It's just one of those big shovels with the flat, and to like get rid of the manure. And so we didn't have a sled at the time, so Dad would like start Mom on a running start. She'd sit on that, and they would go down the snow. Well, with the extra weight with the pregnancy, he actually ran her right into a fence, and she toppled. And so they like to joke that I'm short because my growth was stunted. The other thing with my birth, well, actually, my dad wasn't even there. My mom got really mad at him because he took my oldest sister out and they were eating at Red Lobster while I was being born. So, with being the fifth child, I think he just kind of thought, oh, she's got this on her own. So I guess those are kind of interesting. You probably didn't know that about me.
I did not.
So you're going to learn a lot about me in this process too.
Okay, so what would be your earliest memory? Kind of a hard question.
Yeah, it is. I have no idea. I randomly have like this memory of the old house we used to live in, and we were looking for my shoes, and Mom got really mad at my sister because it was in like, we had this huge dresser, so it was a really tall one with like the mirror, and like all three of us sisters shared it, and my mom got really mad because it was up in the top drawer instead of my bottom drawer like I was supposed to. But that's really random, and it's not really a whole complete memory. I guess some other early childhood memories were me asking. I remember like we were homeschooled, and so Mom and Dad was being vets. Like they had their own practice and had their own office, and so like we would have to go or whatever. And I remember us always having to take naps because that was the age we were at. I don't know, it was like 5 or something. And I would always we would always ask to take naps in the dog cages. So like we had this cage bank in the surgery room for like surgery patients, and so after they'd be gone after lunchtime. So then we would want to take naps in their surgery places because there wasn't surgeries during the afternoon, so it was a quiet room. But we didn't want to lay a pallet on there, so we always were like, Joe, lock me in like the dogs. So it's kind of a weird memory, but I guess that's probably why I'm a vet now. It was predestined. Sleeping with the dog cages.
I guess you weren't very afraid of small spaces then.
Not at that time. I mean, like you could see out the cages. They were pretty big cages, so I mean, they were probably this big. It was the bottom one, so it's not like a small cage or anything like that. It's pretty good size. It was for like a big lab or a big German Shepherd. So when you're 5 years old, it's not really a small space at that time.
So what were you most afraid of as a child?
The dark. Not like the dark like in the house. And actually, I'm still kind of scared of it. Like I hate going out in the dark, like in the woods. Like the sound. I love being outside, I do, but like I always imagine like this mountain lion or like this bobcat or something. This coyote's just like gonna come eat me. So like I didn't like being out in the dark in the woods where we lived. And I still can remember like in high school, like when I'd get home like late after hanging out with friends or whatever, I would sing as I walked to the door because I thought if I sing then it would like scare all the creatures away, or I wouldn't hear them trying to come eat me. Don't judge.
I'm not judging. Who was the most influential person when you were a child?
Probably my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, she was really, I mean, Mom and Dad were really the big people that were around with us being homeschooled. I mean, we went to church and we were involved. Like, we We had a pretty good social circle, but I was pretty close to my mom. Wanted to be just like her until I got into high school. And I was like, no, I don't want to be like your mom. And then I became like her anyway. So she was probably the most, and probably continues to be. I mean, she and I have had my ups and downs, and we've had our fights, but, and then she's my mom, and she loves me, and even when I disagree, I know she just really wants the best for me. Even if I disagree with what's the best for me is, she's probably been, she's moved from being mom to one of my best friends. And she's still mom. They're always going to be mom. But,
yeah.
She's probably the most influential. She said her struggles with just watching her walk with the Lord, even when she's angry at Dad or when she wanted to give up. And I'm sure she wanted to give up a lot with 8 kids. And even like in her career, like being willing to sacrifice some of that for her family. It's really just taught me a lot how to be a woman of the Lord.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
So, in high school, was there, well, I guess you were homeschooled for high school.
Well, no, I was actually went to public school for high school. So I was homeschooled up until 8th grade, and then I went to public school to play sports.
So was there a particular teacher that you remember being particularly influential on you?
I don't know that there was someone like particularly influential. I mean, there were some that were like, I had one teacher that just thought I was uber smart, and I felt like I was tricking him because I didn't feel uber smart. It was my freshman year, and I was in this science class, and I think like the second semester, he's like, these tests are too easy for you. You know all the answers, and you know all this stuff. So he like didn't make me take the tests anymore. He put me in a back room to work on projects. He's like, I just want you to make PowerPoints for me. I want you to research these topics and then make PowerPoints for me. He always called me Miss Stuffy. Like it almost made me feel awkward at times because like he would always tell the other people in the class, you guys need to be smarter like Miss Stuffy. And I'm just like, I'm awkward. Like, whatever. But I mean, it's kind of cool. I'd have to take the test and stuff. I mean, when they were taking the test, I was just in the back room making PowerPoints on the moon phases.
So was that your favorite subject in school?
I mean, it was easy. It was easy for me. That and math were easy for me. I don't know that was my favorite. I don't know that I really had a favorite. I guess if I had to choose a favorite, it's probably gym, because that was easy too, and that's the reason I went to high school. Public high school to play sports, and so like I kind of got to do what I want.
That's good.
Yeah.
So sports were a big part of your high school life. What other extracurricular activities did you do?
So I played soccer and cross country, and then I was involved in a lot of clubs, like the National Honor Society, so basically the academic clubs. The bigger other thing I did was I played piano. So I had started playing piano since I was 4, and so I continued that all the way up through high school. Took lessons and did recitals and whatnot. And then Awana was a big thing I did as well. So every Wednesday night we'd go to Awana, and just really good program for learning scripture and helping you memorize it and keep it for later on. So I guess those are the big things I did. Other than that, I was kind of a homebody.
What would people, find surprising about you when you were in high school? That's a hard one.
I don't know if they'd find it surprising. I guess one thing I shared with my mom that she found surprising when I was in college, or actually when I was in vet school, was that, I just, in high school, I never really felt like I was pretty. I mean, like I feel like every high schooler goes through that. They never feel like that. Like, I think I was able to like exude enough confidence, and like I just did my thing. Like I was smart in academics, and I had my sports. I made it on the varsity teams when I was a freshman. So like I excelled in a lot of different things, and so I think people probably just naturally assumed I had it all together when at times I just felt awkward and like I didn't know what I was doing, and pretty lonely at times. You know, I'm not one for small talk. Like I hate like the chit chat. I'm always one to like have deep conversations, and so that's not something I had a lot in high school. Like it was hard to connect with people on that type of level. I mean, and you're in school, so it's like hard to do that anyway because you're supposed to be learning and crap. But
So when you got to college, was that something that you saw improve?
no, it's just kind of something I've struggled with, you know, throughout my life, I guess. I saw it some improve some in college. Probably the first year was kind of weird for me because I had heard all these things about like the freshman 15, and I was like so determined on not doing that my health kind of took a bad turn. Like I just well, one, I didn't eat, like, and when I did eat, like, I ate healthy. So, like, growing up, like, there's 10 of us in my family, and so, like, you always sit down and you have a big dinner together, and you just do that. Well, I didn't know anyone in college, and so then you have to go to this cafeteria where I don't know anybody, and I felt like everyone was staring at me and judging me, and so I just didn't go. And then when I did go with, like, my roommates or whatever, like, I was so afraid that they were going to judge me that I, like, ate broccoli and salad. Like, that's what I ate. And then I worked out. So, like, I pretty much was anorexic because I wouldn't eat. I was too afraid to. And I remember actually losing 20 pounds that first semester. And people were, like, worried about me. I was like, no, I'm fine. Like, I'm working out and whatever. And just, I eat. But it literally was salad. Or I actually went to Walmart and brought stuff to my dorm. And it was, like, milk and cereal. Like, the special Kmart. So it was, like, the healthy cereal. So that semester was kind of rough. But then after that, I somehow connected with a girl on the same, like, level as me. And got really close with her. So that relationship was really good. And then, like, I gained all the way back because I finally had someone to go eat with, and like she ate like crap, so I didn't feel bad eating like crap, and so then like I went the extreme opposite way and just like ate unhealthy, and gained like all 20 of those pounds back plus like 20 more. So I did gain the freshman 20 or freshman 15, but at least I was eating, you know. But I guess I developed a few of those relationships, but I've just never had a lot of those close, like, relationships. Like, to me, I want, like, that friendship and the relationship that, like, touches your soul, like, you know, that the kind that you pick right back up where you left off. And, yeah, they get pissed off at you, but you know that they have your back and you have their back. Like, that's the way I think God created friendships to be. And I always hated, like, the idea of, oh, I have so many friends. No, well, now you don't. You have a few good friends, and then you have a bunch of acquaintances. And I don't know if I had a harder time making close friends than others, or if I was just honest about it and other people faked it and said they had a lot of friends when they actually didn't. But I was just pretty self-conscious, and in high school I was pretty self-conscious of my frizzy hair and my big butt and all of the above, you know, just being self-conscious of yourself, like I think a lot of high schoolers go through. So, I don't know.
Changing gears a little bit,
Okay.
but still in college. Why did you decide to study veterinary medicine?
Well, I actually didn't decide to study veterinary medicine in undergrad.
Well,
I actually
vet school.
I chose to do biology I chose to do chemistry, so I ended up doing because it was easy, and I didn't know what to do. So it's one of the things I didn't have trouble with, and I had several siblings that did it, and so I was like, okay, that sounds good to me. I knew I wanted to do something like in the science field. Like that's just how I'd grown up. So, but I seriously in undergrad switched from I want to be a doctor to now I'm going to be a nurse. Now I'm going to be a PA. No, I think I want to be an airplane pilot. That was really out there. And then I was like, no, all these things other than veterinary medicine. And what made me change my mind on that is when the tornado came through my town. I think it was the summer between my sophomore and my junior year, and my parents were like, you get to help like take care of things. And so like my parents' practice wasn't hit, and so we had like a lot of animals coming in, and they're like, you need a job, like you're gonna live at home, you're gonna work. And so I worked for them, and I did a lot of rehab with a lot of the patients that were tornado victims. And that's when I kind of was like, okay, I kind of like this. I liked the rehabilitation thing and helping them. And my dad had always told me I would be a good vet, but I was like, I don't like animals, so I won't be. But he's always like, you don't have to like animals to be a good vet, because you need to be able to make the decisions that are best for the animals. And sometimes that means not being emotionally attached to them and saying, from an objective standpoint, that this is where your animal is, and this is the options, and then helping that person make them. Because he knew how much I loved people and loved to serve people. And so he's like, for me, like I never got it that veterinary medicine was the people thing until that summer when I had people come in and they'd be so excited, so full of joy for us to tell them, hey, your pet is okay and it's going to make it. And then there was like a devastating moments where you had to say, hey, we did our best, but we couldn't do anything more. And I'm sorry, but your pet's not going to make it. And so like really just connecting people with and seeing how much their hearts are involved with the animals. I think that's what kind of made me want to do it a little bit. And so then there was like, I told my parents, I'm kind of thinking about it. And of course there's like the push, you're thinking about it? Okay, no, go and do. And so they really pushed me, and so I ended up applying that year. I had all my prereqs done anyway, because a lot of them for vet school are the same prereqs you would do for becoming a doctor or whatever. And so I already had them all done, so I applied and got in a year early, and then I got into vet school. So I think there were times in vet school when I questioned if that's what I was supposed to do. I mean, now, looking back, as a veterinarian, I definitely enjoy it and I love it, and I'm glad that I did it, but it wasn't without its doubts.
You answered a lot of questions with that.
Sorry.
That I didn't even have to ask. So your parents being vets might have been one of the ways they were very influential on you, because you did choose that kind of career as well eventually.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. I mean, I remember an interview question in vet school if my parents being vets is the reason I became a vet. And I don't think it was, because like for a long time I didn't want to be. I mean, yes, that experience of the trainer really like helped me to think more like maybe I am veterinarian oriented. But one of the the horrible reasons I chose to go to vet school is because I didn't want to do a residency, and I thought it'd be easier to get in vet school than medical school because my parents are vets. That's horrible, but that's the truth. Like in my mind, I don't know if it's actually the truth. I mean, I always have people tell me that, wow, you're into vet school, like it's really competitive, I hear, and I have a hard time. It's like, oh yeah, it's so competitive, because like I feel like I cheated somehow. I didn't. Like I still had to do the hard work. I still had to have the grades. I still had to do the interview. I had to do all that stuff. I still had to do my hours, but like I kind of feel like it wasn't as hard for me. But I feel like that's blasphemy. You don't ever say that to like your other vet students or your veterinarians, because I mean there were some that had to apply 3 times before they got in. I got in the first time, so I don't know. I don't know what that means.
Maybe it just means that's where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of how I took it. Like if the Lord wants me there, that's where He put me. So.
Let's talk about your family a little more.
Okay.
You're recently married,
Mhm.
and you come from a large family.
Mhm.
So what does the word family itself mean to you?
Family is... That's a hard question because it means so many things. Like, it's just that, it's that safe place where they want the best for you, and yeah, they might fight with you, and they might push you to do things, but it's because, like, they want the best for you, and they know what you're truly capable of. Like, they saw you grow up. It's not like your friend circle or even like your bosses or your peers or whatever, because, like, they knew how stupid you were, and they also knew how brilliant you were. They saw the angry and the bitter and the happy and the joy. Like, they're just the people that know you, like, where your heart is. And it's the people that love you unconditionally for that, even with the messy. It's the ones that you cannot talk to forever and go back, and they'll still love you. The ones that agree with you are the ones that, I don't know. They're just the ones that take care of your soul. I mean, growing up with those and all those siblings. And I think now, like, having us all grown up, it's sometimes hard for me because in my mind, I think about my siblings as I grew up. And we were like this, in my mind, we were this close-knit thing, but I was also the youngest girl, so I may have been, like, sheltered from some of the other stuff, like, that was going on maybe. But, like, if I got mad at someone, I'd just go play with someone else. And, like, my brothers, like, always stood up for me. Like, I still remember my mom probably when I got home from my junior prom. My youngest brother, let's see, I'm 9 years older than him, so I would have been 17, so he was 8. And it was like 10:30 at night, and he came up to my mom, and he was like, "Mom, where is Stephanie? Alan should have her home by now. It's inappropriate for her to be out this late." So, like, my 8-year-old brother was, like, worried and concerned about me and wanted me well taken care of. And he's like, "I just can't believe that guy. He didn't even open the door for her." And just, like hounding on this guy. And this poor guy was so nervous. Like, and I, I was kind of like, "Oh, I have my brother, so you open your door and you do your own thing." Like, I've gotten better since then. My husband's kind of like, "You need to let me open the door for you," which I'm all for. Like, I'm not like, "Men don't open the door," or whatever. Like, I'm not like that at all. I just don't think about it. Like, I'm just like, well, I'm capable, so I'll just, just do it. But so yeah, my family is, like, always taking care of me. They're always the ones that, if you're going through something, like, tell us. And we've got you. Now, I didn't always take advantage of that. But, and then they've always been there for me. Even when I didn't feel like it.
So is that perhaps one of the most special ways you've been shown that you're loved? Or what else would you think of?
I mean, I never felt like my family loved me. I guess anytime... I'm a big words person. So, like, the 5 love languages, the book by Gary Chapman, like, when it talks about your 5 love languages, my number 1 is words of affirmation. So words make or break me, and that's probably why I hate small talk so much, because it just feels, like, superficial to me, and I want to be loved, and I want to love other people. So, I mean, my family were definitely people that I felt like I could talk to and that talked to me, and so I guess, yeah, it's the big way I feel loved.
Do you believe in love at first sight?
I don't know about that. I mean, I think love's a choice. I mean, I believe in attraction at first sight, and there's definitely some guys who are just like, yep, that's nice.
So how did you and your husband first meet then?
So we met at church through my Bible study, and I think I didn't even mean to like say. So I can remember like he's a year younger than me, so I was at this church a year before, and so like he will tell me that he spotted me before then, had his eye on me, but I was just like oblivious to guys. Like I was just like, oh, whatever. Like I was in the college group, he was in the high school group, since he's a year younger than me. And so then the next year I came back, like there was new people joining the group, and I've always been one to like, I hate like people feeling left out. Like I just hate that, and that may have been like because I've struggled with loneliness so much in my life, so I always like, hey sweetie, and I'm like inclined to like bring people in. And so he came to church one day, and he was like all dressed up, had this nice tie and whatever, and before I knew it, the words came out of my mouth, hey there, good looking. And I don't know where they came from, and I didn't really think much about it, because I mean I had 5 brothers, and that's just like, I've always kind of interacted well with guys because like I had 5 brothers, and I just joke around with them, you know, not really thinking about the fact that it could be flirting. And so he's told me like that is like what kind of got him to, he's like, oh, like I really maybe have a chance. And so I still like just didn't even think anything about it, and it just happened like that semester that I had my calc class after his trig class, and so I would be sitting out there doing homework, and because he went to church, you know, I had talked to him, he was in my Bible study, like whatever, like I didn't think anything about it. And I was telling him towards the end of the semester, or maybe it was the middle, I don't know, it's a long time ago, I'm trying to remember, but I was just super stressed out because I was in all these science classes and all these math classes. I think I was like I had a calc test, I had an anatomy and physiology test, I had a biochemistry test, and it all fell like on a Friday. And I was like super stressed out about it. And he's just like, you know what, why don't I just take you out for ice cream afterwards? Because like he and I talked about like art and foods, and like I love ice cream. So me was like, yeah, I love ice cream. Like I'm totally down for that. Like just hanging out afterwards. And so we did that, and he picked me up, and I remember venting to him, like, ugh, I had just had a friend that, like, stopped being friends with a guy because he had told her he liked her, and it just, like, made me so angry, because having 5 brothers, like, I feel like that just, like, can destroy a guy. I just think is a jerk move, like, okay, you don't have to date them, but just tell them, hey, you're not interested or whatever. Because I know, like, how much courage it takes for a guy to, like, talk to a girl about that. Especially, like, that, our age. And so I was, like, super mad. I'm like, I would never do something like that. And so we're, like, eating our ice cream and in the car. And he's like, okay, wow. I'm like, yeah. I'm just annoyed. And he goes, well, I like you. Do you want to go out? And I, like, drop my ice cream. It's, like, half melted. It just goes down his console. And I'm, like, trying to, like, clean this mess up. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, I don't know. And, I'm just super awkward. And, like, I had and I mean, you kind of have this, like, maybe he liked me, but, like, didn't really think it was serious. Just thought, like, I might be making it up. And I was just like, I'm gonna have to think about it. And so, like, I didn't even give him an answer. And I was just like, and I could tell, like, he was trying not to be irritated, but was trying not to laugh at the same time. Because, like, literally, it was, like, melted ice cream, and it was, like, a seat. I was in his front seat, he was in his front seat, and there was this console, and it just, like, drained down the side of the seats. And then it was leather seat. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just, like, so sorry. And so then, I don't remember what happened next. Like, I somehow got home, and it was fine. And then we started hanging out more, and then somehow we started dating. I don't even know when we started dating. That's actually one of the things he told me was about me, because he's like, you never want one of those girls that were like, oh, it's our 4-month anniversary. No, it's not, because I don't even know when we officially started dating. So it was sometime in October or November, but that was the meeting, and that's when we kind of started hanging out and eventually started dating, and years down the road we're married. But he likes to tell me he tricked me, and that he likes to say it was a date. And I go, it was not a date. Like, it's not a date if I don't know that it was a date. And so we constantly have this argument, and he says it was a date, and I say it wasn't a date. But he tricked me with ice cream, what can I say?
That's a pretty embarrassing moment.
Yeah, it was pretty embarrassing. I can laugh about it now, but it was pretty bad.
Would you say that's your most embarrassing moment?
I guess in a funny, embarrassing, probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For sure. We probably ought to.
Yeah. One last question to wrap up then.
Okay, cool.
What is your definition of happiness?
I don't know, happiness. I don't know how to describe happy. Like, it's just that utter joy, I guess, that you can feel when your soul's just like really utterly happy. And yeah, I'm using the word in the definition. It doesn't mean you have to have everything, or that you have to have all your crap together. You can still be happy. Like, it's kind of a choice. Like, I feel like it's a choice, just like love. Like, it doesn't mean that you're not going through a dark time, or that everything's perfect in your world, but it's a choice to find the joy in everything. And I guess I would kind of associate with, you asked me about family. Family would be associated with happiness. Like, that's a happy time for me. There's some hurtful times too, but it's just when it's that feeling of joy no matter what happens, that everything's fine, and that despite your world being upside down, it's going to be okay, and that you're going to keep going, and your soul's just going to be satisfied. Like, I don't know. Does that make sense?
I think it does.
It's hard to describe because it's a feeling. It's a choice, but it's also a feeling. And it's just like when you're, despite crap or despite everything going good, it's just, you're okay, and you like yourself, and you like the people around you, I guess. I feel like it's a really horrible definition, but happiness can be a lot of things.
Alright.
To me, it's my family. To me, it's my husband. It's the joy of getting to help someone with something they didn't think they were going to accomplish. It's the privilege and honor of getting to walk beside people as they go through grief, or they have lots of joy. It's just getting to share in life. It's getting to live life. That's what happiness